I think one of the greatest traditions of any school I've ever known of is whoever decided to start murals with the very first graduating class of Valhalla.
I graduated from Valhalla in 2006. I teach SAI history, and I'm also the yearbook advisor and the swim and dive coach here at Valhalla. Really, I think our senior mural just depicted all of the things that happened throughout the year. We had a really awesome homecoming that year, so there's images from homecoming.
They're just supposed to reflect the history and the experiences students had their last year here at Valhalla.
We had some aftermath from Hurricane Katrina. We were coming out of an election year, so some of that information is on there.
One of my fast favorites is the most recent one that Brady Francisco did, kind of single-handedly. Really did a good job of capturing what was going on at Valhalla in such a weird year of 2020.
Right after winter break, I kind of just wanted to start picturing how I thought the mural should look. I always started randomly pitching stuff to our senior class president, Haley Casadish, and hoping one of them would stick, and she would say, yeah, go ahead, Brady, you can be in charge of it.
How the murals are done each year, our art teacher, who happens to be Mrs. Allen, meet with a combination of both senior class officers and art students, and just any student who's interested in being part of the mural.
We wanted the prom venue to be on the mural. We wanted something to do with Disneyland. We wanted something to do with our CIF teams. But ultimately, once the pandemic hit, we couldn't do any of those in the light that none of those things happened.
So this last year, they started that process on Zoom, and there was this idea, well, maybe we could take the pieces of the mural to individual kids, they paint their part, we move it around.
We ultimately decided that we didn't want to risk having to compromise the quality of the mural just so that we could all paint it.
But Brady, who is our ASB president, had extensive experience in digital arts.
I offered to paint it digitally.
Every mural prior to this, for the most part, had been drawn out by hand. It's not paper to pen or paintbrush to canvas like we've seen in other ones. I think the 2020 mural is really a representation of where we're going in this world, going to a completely digitized mural.
To me, my wife was in the first graduating class, so these murals go back all the way, and it's the continuity, the mark that each class leaves. And as far as personal meaning goes, as far as being an artist myself, that's always up to interpretation.
My computer, not being like the best computer in the world, could barely handle opening in Photoshop.
I just helped them get the right image size resolution and color space.
It was originally just the 49 inches by whatever inches Photoshop file.
You have to take an image like this and then figure out how to blow it up.
But I realized right away that, oh no, it's not all gonna fit.
And then make sure that the student set up Photoshop in order to work at the proper resolution so the print would be high quality.
So I split it up into 3 different files, rendered out to 2 gigabytes.
And Brady worked for months painstakingly putting that together and pulled out, I just think, an amazing mural.
Hats off to hitting it on the deadline and actually achieving success.
I'm most proud of how the eyes turned out. So one of the initial ideas was to have the eyes of T.J. Eichelberg from the hit novel The Great Gatsby. I wanted that to be the focal point. Those represent the eyes of God in the novel, and I thought in the current era, eyes of God could be symbolic of many different things in many different contexts.
I think he did a great job of capturing the national events. There's George Floyd, for instance, a lot of the protest movement.
We have Joe Biden on there, the impeachment articles used in Donald Trump's trial.
The nurse or the doctor in the background with full face shield and full gown. I think that was really a strong look at really how just that act of COVID defined that whole class.
The hotel, the U.S. Grand, that we were originally going to have prom in. Kim Jong-un kind of faked his death in one part of the year.
But again, he was able to bring it back home to Valhalla.
We have lots of our sports teams and our award-winning band team, choir. They took a trip to Japan right before quarantine hit. We also have Kobe Bryant and his daughter, Gianna. Kobe Bryant was a large part of a lot of our childhoods. There's some in memoriam references to our friend Paul Valadez. He passed away our freshman year. I know a lot of people that did love him and were good friends with him. And we just had to include him in the mural.
Alumni who come back and visit, and maybe it's been 20 years, 30 years, or really we're getting up to 50 years.
I hope that they'll recognize that while we had the pandemic, we still had a unique high school experience, and that we still had each other, and we still had fun, and we still had class, and we still learned a lot in high school, even though we were stuck in our little quarantine bubbles.
Them being able to see and remember that it's a visual time capsule that brings back so many memories, whether they're good or bad. And I think for anyone, it'd just be exciting to see and remember what those memories are.